Hi, I'm Dan. This is Vinyl Fury, and it's kind of late in the evening, but I kind of felt like doing one of these vinyl diary videos, catching up on what I've been listening to lately. So let's do it. So first off, we have a couple of the Craft Recordings reissues, the Contemporary Records Acoustic Sounds series. Both of them are Art Pepper. This is Meets the Rhythm section, as well as, I think it's plus 11, or maybe it's and 11, but I believe it's Art Pepper plus 11. Modern Jazz Classics. So these are both all analog masters from the original tapes by Bernie Grundman, pressed at Quality Record Pressings, QRP, and the result is pretty fantastic. Got the tip-on jacket reproduction on both. The quality is pretty great. And I didn't have any Art Pepper. In fact, I wasn't even really familiar with him until fairly recently, when I've kind of heard of these reissues. And I got this one at a bit of a discount. It was closer to 20 than 30. And this is typically 30. So I got them both. And yeah, I really enjoyed them. They sound fantastic. Quality is top-notch, and I really enjoyed them. I would recommend them both. So the other night, I was using my Discogs app to show me a random record. I did it a few times. Like, what do I want to listen to? What am I not thinking of? Show me that. So the Discogs app on your phone is great. If you shake it, it'll just show you a random thing in your collection. I've made a series of videos using that called Random Records. I think I have a playlist for it. Maybe I'll leave the link in the description. So the other night, this came up. This is Bon Iver, I from 2019. And it's in this slipcase. And this is one of the better presentations of a record on vinyl in recent history. The jacket has so many flourishes. Like, this is glossy, this is matte, it's very thick, nice gatefold. In the first pocket is this huge booklet, which is wonderful to look through, as well as a printed inner sleeve. And I hadn't listened to this in a while, and man, is it good. You know, they really broke out with their self-titled album, 2011, and then they kind of fucked off for a while. Came back with an album called 22 A Million a couple of years before this, and that was good, but it kind of sounded like a bit of a identity crisis. You know, where do we go from Grammy winning? We can't just make the same sound again. You know, we got to be subversive. We got to not give them exactly what they want, but something like it. And I think that's what they did. I think they did that well. It was a good album. And then I think this is a great album. I realized when I was listening to it that I had been hearing bits of these songs in my head for the last, 3 or 4 years, even though I hadn't actually played the whole thing in a while. The production is great, and compared to the previous one, I feel like I hear confidence on this record. And yeah, it's phenomenal. Another one that came up randomly was Dopamine from Third Eye Blind from 2015. And this was an album that came, I think, about 6 years after their previous one. And there was a significant lineup change in between those. And the sound is definitely different. As much as I love like those first 3 albums very much, the fourth one, Ursa Major, before this, I like it, but that was definitely a transition. And then this is like a full shift. Like, you have the same singing voice, but you can sense that there's a different songwriter as well within the music. I like it, but it's different. It kind of seemed like they were going for like the indie rock vibe of the time, like the driving bass lines, which, I think it did fairly well. And to pull off something like that, I mean, Stephen Jenkins, the vocalist, the main guy, 50 years old when he did this one, which is pretty impressive. Songs like Rites of Passage and Something in You stand out to me. Kind of harkens back to what I love about the band previously, even though they have some of that progressive vibe in them. And then the song Blade has kind of a vibe that would match something on Blue, their second album. So it was interesting to hear this one again after a bit. I really enjoyed their last full album, A Band Apart, but between this one in 2015 and that last one, I think 2021, it's been up and down for me. There's an album they did called Screamer in 2019. It's the only one I've never purchased. Like there's only a couple songs that I feel like I would listen to again. But anyway, listening to the vinyl, the mastering on this and several of their records are lately, like it's pretty squishy and loud, really pushed. Like I don't think I need to listen to this on vinyl, and I actually think I might part with this. It's on white vinyl, by the way. But I think when I want to listen to it, I can enjoy it on CD. But yeah, it was good to revisit it. A recent pickup, JeanMichel Jarre. This is Magnetic Fields from 1981 on Polydor. Electronic, synth-driven, kind of experimental music that is quite interesting. I have Oxygen and Equinox. I believe those are the two I have, and how to say them. And I found this within the last couple months for like $6. It sounds great, very interesting, like arpeggiated synths. And at times it kind of reminded me of video game music from like the early 90s. Obviously with a much fuller production and all that, but the vibe of it, like I could hear it kind of as a layer from that era. But this is from 1981, so it was obviously ahead of its time. But this was it seemed like a very eclectic sound. And I guess I would say inventive. I mean, he's definitely a singular voice in the electronic genre. And yeah, this is very cool. And I listened to it in headphones, which I think helped. And I don't know if you can see this, but if you look in his eye, it kind of looks like the topography of the Earth. It's pretty cool. All right, last one. William Ackerman, It Takes a Year on Windham Hill, the label that he founded. And his first album on that was released in 1976. This came out in 1977. So it's his second album on the label. It's the third album overall on the label. And I bought this one this year sometime, but I'm pretty sure that I played it and then realized I needed to clean it because I recognized the melody of track 3. Like, oh yeah, I've listened to this, but I did clean it and it sounded really good. Like really nice background. So that record Dr. 6 that I've been using, it's doing a good job. And this is, lovely acoustic guitar music. Of course, he's one of the biggest names in that genre. And this is one of the few Windham Hill records that I have that aren't like the Quiex transparent vinyl, like you hold it up to the light and it's amber or gray or green or something like that. It's just black. It is a first pressing, and I'm sure this was like $2 or $3. But yeah, after that cleaning, it sounded fantastic, and I really enjoyed listening to it. So another Windham Hill goes into the collection. All right, well, I hope the magic of editing made this a worthwhile endeavor, and I hope you enjoyed hanging with me as I talk about these records that I've listened to lately. And I'll do it again once I have stacked up a few more. So until then, take care and enjoy your music.
Don't let them find us. Something you can't come back from. Something's lost and something's won. What's that?